It's a Thurston County Amateur BBQ Cook-Off. Now's your chance to bring your backyard barbecue skills into a local county-wide competition and see just how good it really is with the first annual Thurston County Amateur BBQ Cook-Off competition. Just think, you could have a shot at prizes and recognition and have a great time as well. All the proceeds go to Afab World. Go to afabworld.org or call 754-2868 for all the information. Preliminary rounds are forming now. It's the Thurston County Amateur BBQ Cook-Off.
Afab World Charity, pretty big global concept that some people might not realize how easy it is to envision globally and engage locally. Project Eco Village is the end goal for our research project, which will help a billion people globally and locally realize water and shelter for a reality instead of no access to clean water and no access to safe shelter. When I started this charity back in 2009, it was a huge global solution. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the commercials where donate to feed this child, and I mean, I got so inundated I just changed the channel now if I see something like that. But it's not a solution, it just creates 2 more starving children. The solution is a holistic approach, which is Project Eco Village, where you can provide water, a little bit of education, some sustainable resources that we find every day in our hardware stores and take for granted. This can be combined and designed into a sustainable village that on the global stage will help reduce the slash and burn agriculture, sustenance agriculture, and produce sustainable agriculture. That's the foundation to it. I'm a sustainable agriculture expert from my over a decade of owning Delphi farms, going down to the farmer's market and studying organic versus the other conventional. And I'm sure you all heard of the E. coli scares and the organic spinach and stuff like that. Well, when that came out, I researched alternative means of fertilizer and found out that alfalfa and canola are better than cow manure, pig manure, and chicken manure. So we converted to a crop fertilizer instead of a animal-based fertilizer. And that can be applied sustainably worldwide. That's one of the things on how I'm a sustainable agriculture expert. I also developed a network, a global network of entrepreneurs and scientists that I'm in constant contact with that help with the research design and write the research projects that we have for funding. The soil fertility research project, which will prove that by feeding all 17 elements to the soil, your plants will then be able to have all the minerals and vitamins they need to provide to you to have them. And that's a very unique concept that has not flourished in the Garden Revival Project. Everybody says, oh, grow a garden, but if you don't feed that garden right, you're not going to get the food out of vegetables. And that's why the US FDA has recalculated the nutritional content downward every decade for vegetables sold in American supermarkets. But by proving this with the grow trial, that if you feed your plants right and get healthy food, then we can help promote a healthy society. One of the other research projects is the home-scale biogas. And biogas is a couple of thousand-year-old concept that's been going on in Cuba, India, and China for the most part for many years. It's simply taking all of your organic waste, anything that was once alive and is not yet petrified, and putting it through a liquid composting process. And then abstract the methane out of that process. So if you have a compost pile, you're letting methane and CO2 release into the atmosphere. If you have biogas, you're capturing that methane, converting the CO2 into a methane, and then you can burn it for fuel, for a generator, for cooking. And this is something that, like I said, has been done mostly in the oil-scarce countries because they don't have a lot of fossil fuels they can rely on, especially Cuba, with their embargoes really ahead of the world in that kind of research. What we hope to do is figure out which kind of these mini biodigesters works best for the home scale with our research project. There's 1 stage, a 2 stage, and a 3 stage, and it's an 18-month project, but at about the 6-month point, we should have enough data to determine this is the most efficient, and then we can start building home scale kits for people to either make themselves so that they can get off a PDF on our website or just buy from the charity so they can just plug it in. And that's the biogas. biogas, the research. There's also the power and water tower project, which is just simply combining a windmill tower with solar panels and an elevated water tower. At 98 feet, you get 24 pounds per square inch water pressure. So if you're putting your water that high in the air, you might as well have a windmill another 100 feet above it on top of the solar panels, because you're going to get the most light out of your solar panels at 90 feet. You don't have to worry about buildings or anything shaking down. That's a very simple concept that nobody's tried to put together, and you can't get a permit for it. So, although it's a good concept, that's going to take a lot of red tape moving to make that particular project happen. All of this is going to happen at the Sustainable Research Farm in Delphi, where we were once at the farmer's market for a decade. We had the organic vegetables. We were there with the edible flowers and our salad mix and stuff like that. After becoming grandparents, we decided to stop working so hard and trying to make an income off of farming and just rely on my computer specialty skills to make the 36 bucks an hour I was making at the time. After 4 or 5 years of working on the project, the charity, and not doing anything with the farm and just hating to see it go vacant, dormant for so long, Gary Klein from Black Lake Organic Nursery and Ron Lawson and Lacey City Councilman told me, Matt, you're lacking a local identification. Afab World is some global thing nobody's interested in. How can you tie this back in to our community? You should create the Sustainable Research Farm where people can go out and see what's going on and realize that they can benefit from it locally. And from there, I went and wrote a couple of research projects in the Sustainable Research Farm, which is, now we'll go over the budget projects. The Sustainable Research Farm has a 2-year projected budget of $280,000. The power and water tower is $170,000. The soil fertility research project is $17,000, and the 18-month biogas project is $47,000. So how does all of that tie into the Thurston County Amateur BBQ and Music Competition? Well, I wasn't having much luck promoting the charity fundraising dinners at the Black Lake Grange. It wasn't getting the word out. And I did a couple of international competition barbecues. I was the barbecue guru for the Southside Barbecue Festival the first year, and I was going to go amateur, not professional. It was a great hit. Everybody loved it. It was a great event. So I decided, well, let's combine some hydroplane NASCAR and some barbecue and make it a little funner than the pros did. And the pros have 4 categories: pork butt, ribs, chicken, brisket. You have to cook that. A lot of those take 16 hours to cook. I thought about it, and well, to make it funner, to open it up to all the amateur backyards, our categories are gourmet burgers, anything foul, anything from the surf, anything from the tourist, and just in case we forgot something, pitmaster's choice, whatever you want to cook. So you can, for $50, you can come out and compete. Our next event is 4th of July Wild Card Throwdown. If you take one of the 5 categories, you can then move on to the semi-final Grand Championship at Columbus Park on September 2nd. So along with the amateur barbecue and music, I've put together a few vendors that come out. We've had some chair massages in the past, so Mary Kay, Sin City, Simply Taste, and other food vendors come out. We're going to be at Tumwater Farmers Market on 4th of July, right along the parade route, cooking up some barbecue and having our wild card throwdown. That's how it all comes back into networking, and this group and myself and the Thurston County Amateur Barbecue Cook.